Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the early leaks that have been dropped for our upcoming chapter of 1072 of the One Piece manga. After going over each piece, we'll then comment on each idea, and then talk about how it may go together in this upcoming chapter. As we always like to remind all of our wonderful listeners, these are just leaks, and early ones at that. So please understand that in the official translation, things might be said differently, and they may even be in a different order than what we see in the leaks. But otherwise, we are really excited to bring these leaks to you, and we look forward to what you have to saying about them in the comments. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, and even subscribe, and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, chapter 1072 is titled as The Weight of Memories, referring to Kuma's past and about the actions Vegapunk made regarding his revolutionary friend. On the cover of this chapter, we see that Mads has kind of stepped forward a little bit in time, where Queen is preparing viruses, Judge is making his spear, and Caesar seems to be creating an unknown devil fruit. Meanwhile, Vegapunk and the mysterious woman who appeared on the previous cover do not appear on this new cover story. As I mentioned, it seems like a little time has passed since the last cover story, where they're wearing different clothes, and Queen is a little more plump, and again, the devil fruit that Caesar is working on is black and has a rather unknown shape. Chapter 1072 appears to start with a narration from Vegapunk's diary during his Mads period. It's not a flashback per se, it's just a text in the present tense, where Vegapunk says that even if the world doesn't accept it, he sees her as a real human. Vegapunk said that this experiment will be the first step towards peace. Apparently, this is in reference to some experiment he did in the past. So then we go back to the present, where Bonnie is still chasing after Vegapunk in search of answers about Kuma. While in pursuit, Bonnie transforms into a child and pretends to cry to gain Vegapunk's sympathy, in an attempt to make the scientist approach her to help her stop crying. As Vegapunk approaches Bonnie, she transforms again, but now into a very strong adult version. She almost looks pumped up and muscly like a balloon, and it looks like Bonnie's powers not only allow her to age, but age into different variations of her future self, or at least something like that. In essence, this would be something very similar to Luffy's rubber power, but in a much more limited way, only managing to modify her body based on the age she modifies it to. Now, we don't know if she can modify an individual part, but if she can, that would be really interesting. But as Bonnie engages Vegapunk, she starts ripping the various ages out of him like glittering jewels, and she turns him into a baby that can talk. This is mostly due to the fact that Vegapunk is still connected to his massive brain and still allows him to have all the information he's acquired throughout his life. Vegapunk is intrigued by the power of Bonnie's fruit, and even asks her if these shiny gems were her age, demonstrating that not even the greatest scientist in the world knew that she possessed this incredible ability. Vegapunk says that he cannot tell Bonnie the reason why he turned Kuma into a robot in the past, because that reason would cause Bonnie immense pain, and that's why Vegapunk promised Kuma that he would never tell Bonnie the truth. We next see Bonnie turn and see a room with a bear's paw on the door, in which she instantly realizes that that could be the room that belongs to her father Kuma, so she needs to find out what's inside of it. Bonnie approaches the door and destroys the lock by aging it, demonstrating that she has the ability to age objects and is not just limited to living beings. In the next scene, a Vega and Kuma flashback begins, and Vegapunk resembles the flashback in Ohara, and we see Kuma wearing a white patient outfit without a hat, showing his hair and glasses. Vegapunk tells Kuma that a scientist in the West Blue found that humans weigh 21 grams less after they die, so 21 grams must be the weight of a human soul. Vegapunk also seems to explain Kuma's Niku Niku no Mi ability. He says that Kuma's power turns intangible things into something more tangible. For example, Kuma can transform pain by transforming the nerve signal going through a person's body into tangible energy that he can expel from that person's body. So by extension, Kuma must be able to do the same thing with imagination, thoughts, or even memories, something that goes directly into the brain of a living being. Vegapunk then wants Kuma to try to bring up his own memories, so he can make a paw-shaped blob that has all of Kuma's memories throughout his life. You see, he wanted Kuma to do this for one simple reason, because Vegapunk wants to know the weight and size of human memory. And in this case, it would be all of Kuma's memories, with all his knowledge and all his thoughts. But Kuma doesn't want to do this because he says it's embarrassing, as this way he would be making all his memories available, allowing just anyone to see them. But Vegapunk pleads for the sake of science. Back in the present, Bonnie enters the room with the bear paw shape on the door. In the middle of the room, Bonnie sees Kuma's bear paw-shaped energy, which is totally different energy from the ones we've seen throughout our story of One Piece. This paw of energy isn't pain or even concentrated air. It was something that Bonnie knew exactly what it was, was, and for that reason, she walks straight towards the energy to be able to feel if her intuition was truly right. Simultaneously, as Bonnie walks towards the giant paw, at the same time, we see what's happening in Red Harbor, the place where Kuma had gone after he managed to escape his fellow revolutionaries. The real Kuma starts trying to climb the Red Line, but is knocked down by one of the Marines who's trying to prevent him from reaching the top of the Great Mountain. Back to the room with the bear paw full of energy, Bonnie is about to tap into the energy, and Vegapunk, who's still in the form of a child, tries to stop her because he doesn't know what could happen if she touches the bubble. Vegapunk tells Bonnie not to touch the energy as she was Kuma's pain, but Bonnie tells Vegapunk that she knows her father's ability, and that energy is not pain but his memories. So Bonnie reaches out to touch the energy, and when she touches it, she manages to get all of Kuma's information that he had for himself, including all the truth that Kuma and Vegapunk had kept hidden for so long. The scene then cuts out to the Labisphere, where we see Zoro's battle continuing against Kaku. Kaku is using his awakened form, which is quite similar to Lucci's. Kaku's hybrid form now has black flame-style hair and a dark fire-flowing stream around his shoulders. Kaku uses some old attacks like Bigan, which would translate into nose pistol, but also uses a new attack called Kyoku Bigan, Kirimangyoru, which would have a similar translation to extreme nose pistol, spinning serpent. However, Zoro easily manages to take control of this match against Kaku, easily managing to hit him with his sword strikes and knock him to the ground while Brook protects the Thousand Sunny. Suddenly, it's revealed that the 4 Seraphim have also arrived to the Labisphere as well, despite not receiving any orders, which leaves some people surprised that they seem to be acting on their own free will. It's then revealed that the Seraphim's personality allow them to react and make decisions on their own to adapt to any battle situation, so they've come to help CP0 alone. This is something interesting to see since something similar happened earlier. After receiving Sentomaru's order to escort the Straw Hats to safety, S-Snake alone returned to the battlefield to fight CP0. Upon arriving in the Labisphere, CP0 are surprised that they're doing this, as it's not something that they wanted, because Vegapunk still holds a higher authority than them. Seeing this incredible opportunity, Edison and Lilith race to try and retrieve the Seraphim, and Sanji and Frankie go to help Zoro and Brook, while Luffy and the other Straw Hat pirates are in the lab watching the conflict over the monitors. Lucci orders the Seraphim to destroy the Labisphere before Vegapunk can show up, so the 4 Seraphim start attacking the Labisphere building together. However, suddenly, Kaku's neck is bitten by someone and he falls asleep. We next find out the mysterious person that Vegapunk had asked for in the previous chapters, revealing themselves as a spy inside CP0 in search of getting information for Vegapunk. And the one who bit Kaku is none other than Stussy, who is shown to have vampire wings and fangs, something no other character has really been shown to possess so far, possibly being an extinct race or species, or just simply another modification that Vegapunk can make. And then her true identity is revealed. Stussy is Ms. Buckingham Stussy, one of the most feared pirates of the past, known as the Rocks Pirates. Stussy was Mad's first successful human clone, tying in with the flashback to the very beginning of the chapter in which Vegapunk says she is a human, no matter what the world says about her. We then learn that the chapter ends with Stussy looking at Lucci while saying that she had just put Kaku to sleep and the next one was gonna be him, leaving Lucci completely scared and confused with what was just happening. But that, my friends, is the early leaks that we have for our upcoming chapter of One Piece, chapter 1072. So with all that said, we'd now love to know what you think about it. What do you think about this reveal? And were you right thinking that our mysterious helper on the island was Stussy? Now, here at the channel, we thought, yeah, could be Stussy, but we never saw the vampire thing coming through. Second, speaking of the vampire part, do you think this was a genetic modification? Or perhaps is Stussy from a long-departed species, just like the Lunarians or other species that might have died out on the world of One Piece? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up today's video, we'd like to thank you so much for watching our video, especially those of you who've stayed with us here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.